We all know that acquiring a tech company is a somewhat different exercise from acquiring an old economy company, in part because a tech company's most prized assets, its technology and its HR assets, its talented engineers and scientists, they don't show up on a balance sheet. Today, we're going to focus on one of the important technology-related provisions from the deal documents for a tech company, and that's the so-called residuals clause, which appears, by the way, not in the acquisition agreement, but rather in the confidentiality agreement. The guts of the confidentiality agreement really boil down to two fundamental prohibitions designed to protect the target company's, my clients' secrets. The two commandments, we sometimes call them. Commandment number 1, thou shalt not disclose my secrets to third parties. Commandment number 2, thou shalt not use my secrets except for the very limited purpose of evaluating the deal we're discussing. Now, Keith, you're representing the prospective buyer here, a big, old economy, non-tech company, a maker of old-fashioned, spring-loaded mousetraps. This is your client's first foray into the world of tech M&A. Now, my client, the target company, it's a classic venture-backed tech company. It's much smaller than your client. Why does your client want to buy my client? Because my client has used its sophisticated technological know-how to figure out the way to make the quintessential better mousetrap. My client's key product uses a combination of hardware and proprietary software to track the movements of mice, to zap them out of existence in a painless, humane way. And but that's our product. No springs, no cheese, technology at its best. Now, in your markup, you've thrown this thing at me that you call a residuals clause. It says, notwithstanding anything to the contrary contained in this agreement, i.e., notwithstanding the use clause, buyer and its employees shall be free to use for any purpose, including the development, marketing, or maintenance of products or services, any residuals resulting from their access to or work with the confidential information that we're going to share with you. Residuals means information in non-tangible form, including ideas, concepts, know-how, and techniques included in target's confidential information that may be retained in the unaided memories of employees of buyer who have had access to target's confidential information. What?
It's a limited exception to the use restriction. It says, notwithstanding that restriction, if my client's employees remember things without looking back at documentation, they're going to be able to use that residual information as part of their job. I can't make my employees who are doing the due diligence forget things, so this just reflects the reality.
But I think what you're saying, Keith, is that if your client's engineers do due diligence on my client's proprietary technology, and they learn the way to build the better mousetrap, and then our acquisition discussions break off for any reason, then your client can use what your engineers have learned in the due diligence process to make its own better mousetrap and beat my client's brains out in the marketplace, drive my client out of business. So I've got a solution for you. Have a separate team from your client do the due diligence, a team that's completely isolated from your product development team. So that's going to give you a surefire defense against any claim that my client may bring against your client for stealing my client's technology.
Yeah, that all sounds good, but your client wants a ridiculous price for the company, and the only people that can evaluate the technology and give them that price are the people that understand it the best. And secondly, we don't have separate teams. We don't have enough resources to have a separate team do that.
Okay, look, stepping out of character, John, in real life, are Keith and Max right? Do all these big tech buyers typically ask for and get residuals clauses?
As outrageous as it may seem, yes, they do.
And you're just going to have to live with it.
That's right, Rick. In the tech M&A world, large buyers with experienced lawyers almost always get residuals clauses in their confidentiality agreements. That's the reality you have to accept. So, representing a tech-focused acquisition target in this situation, given that you can't expect to get rid of the residuals clause completely, all you can really hope to do is add some language that makes the clause a little less obnoxious.
Bottom line, residuals clauses are not necessarily fair to sellers, but given the enormous negotiating leverage that some buyers possess, and given the strong aversion of buyers to taking on any sort of litigation risk, you're going to continue to see large buyers ask for and succeed in getting residuals clauses relatively frequently. Were it not for the leverage that these big ticket buyers command, I don't think you'd see so many residuals clauses.